This is a Brighton model Impreza, so this is where the air conditioning compressor would go if it had one. So if your car looks different than this, that's where that's missing something. Alternator, power steering pump. I've taken the guard off here and the belt. I'm just going to feel around, just spinning pulleys to see if I can hear the noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but I hear whoosh, 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 kind of a squeaky, squeaky, squeaky in the alternator, which is where I originally thought the noise was coming from. But when I mess with the power steering pump, I hear it has this kind of clanky, rattly sort of play in the sound or something in the pump here, which I don't think sounds normal. There's certainly some noises going on in those accessories, but just to hear the motor without them, I'm going to fire it up here on just battery for a second and see if it's quiet or not. I just got a parts store replacement here. It's about 12 bucks or something, 15 bucks, wasn't much. And it's a big size, like I don't have a socket that would fit over that, I don't think. And so I'm going to vice grip it, but to vice grip it, I had to get access underneath the alternator here, so sort of fighting my way into it. In a moment of clever backyard mechanic work, I've turned the alternator accessory belt inside out so I don't damage the ribs. I've hooked it on the rad support and around the ear of the alternator just to hold the alternator up out of the way. So I don't want to stress those wiring looms too much by cranking it all the way over, hurting something. So if you look, you'll see this little jobby right in here is what needs to be changed. And see, the oil actually leaks up through the sensor, and then this whole area here is all coated in oil. As you can see there, it's just got a simple blade connector on top of it, right there. And I just did a little bit of vice grip kung fu, trying to get that out of there. It's finally loosened up. And also what I did is I took some brake cleaner and I sprayed around the area of the hole, because that goes straight into the oil galleries of the engine. And I don't want to knock a bunch of extra crud in there, so I sprayed around and just kind of wiped it clean a little bit. That's all there is to the thing. It leaks up through, it's the failure mode, they leak up through where the blade connector comes out. So they just kind of seep oil out all over, which clearly it's been doing down there. So let's see if that's a close match to my replacement. I guess the replacements are kind of universal, but yeah, it's not really as close a replacement as I was expect, but probably going to work. I'll try it and find out. I see this has some kind of a thread sealant on it, and I've heard that you're supposed to put what's that stuff called, Teflon tape on these, but I think I will try it without, because it appears to have its own sealant. So let me just bastardize that in there with the vice grips, and we'll be back. So there's the belt. This is your tensioner here. So you loosen this bolt, it goes through the whole alternator. This little bolt just goes into one side, and this vertical bolt pulls it up and down, tensions the belt. See? I'm just tightening this back up here. Here's a little gotcha that I forget about. So this guard that goes over the belt has a big forked side that goes on top of this alternator. What's it? You want to get that in there first before you go and tighten that all the way down and then forget. You have to loosen it off again and start over. Now let me fire this up and you can hear the symphony of racket that I was investigating today. You could hear when I worked the wheel back and forth that it loaded up the power steering pump, and you can hear the squeaky squeakies. It gets worse than that at times. I don't know if it's temperature or what that does it, but I'm going to get a new belt because that one's kind of glazy. And maybe look into an alternator rebuild kit, some stuff like that. Thanks for coming along and having a good time.